Like the carpenter who uses tools to build a house, we can use caring to develop national programs to meet specific needs. Why should we support it? Because it's right, and because it will work. It will help us address issues like education, Social Security, welfare, health care, crime, and drugs. Caring believes that America cannot exist as a society of warring parts, and that progress comes not from government giving more to people, but through people giving more of themselves.
With the caring program, people would have an interest in the community and the welfare of the people, wherein today you don't have that interest. Everything is about profit, everything is about power. With the caring, we would move away from that type of structure, that type of government, that type of mentality, because it would be people-orientated.
What you're able to accomplish when you implement caring is cut the taxes that we currently pay now for the obligations of society, which is, say, welfare, health care, Medicare, all that kind of stuff. We can cut that by 50% and reduce the size of government substantially.
The success of this project will have to be above and beyond the title of Republican or Democrat. This has got to be supported by a wave of enthusiasm from the people.
It is a program that has been put together by a man who is basically apolitical in his approach, but very concerned about people and very concerned about his community. And he has sat back and simply said to himself, now, how can we do this better? How can we make changes that will be effective at a much less cost to the American people and have an important moral ramifications, it seems to me.
I'm a registered Democrat. I always vote Democrat. I heard Dick was a Republican, so I had that little bit of bias. But beyond that, you know, a friend introduced me to Dick at a meeting. I hadn't heard of him before, except for having seen his signs on buses and stuff. And, you know, he seemed to me to be a caring person, to use his phrase, a person who was willing to take lots of time to explain his position. I mean, we talked for an hour and a half, just a small group of us, a fellow who's thoroughly thought through what he wants to do, has a pretty good idea about how he wants to go about it, and so it didn't take really much selling. Once I got past the Republican business, I was okay.
Helping other people is probably the best thing that you can do for yourself. But in the meantime, let's talk about what caring will do for people. It can lower their taxes by up to 50%. That's number one. Number two, it'll allow them to choose who they give their money to. So you don't just steal their money from them in the form of taxation and throw it into these wastelands that people have no control over. So if you say, how do I know caring will work? I see it work every day. Well, the spirit and the ability to solve the problems in this country are everywhere in this society. If we can just unleash those abilities and those spirits, it will happen. But not only do we have to unleash them, we have to control them. It's got to be a system. And that's what caring is.
The real advantage of the caring approach to the average individual, I think, is that first of all, it breaks this vicious and wasteful circuit of their tax dollar from them to the national government back to them. And it allows them to step in and make decisions about how they like to have their money spent. And at the same time, it combines this kind of natural interest Americans have in helping the less fortunate with the incentive of tax advantage.
I think that people are fed up basically with the inactivity or perceived inactivity of government. People really are looking for solutions, and when they're presented with these ideas of caring, they're impressed with them. They see how that they can have a direct and immediate impact on their community.
It takes us from having the government, in quote unquote, be the supplier of services to people like us providing the services, okay? And that's exciting.
It's been born out of real life, real world experience. It's been tested, if you will, in the mind and in the computer models of a businessman who knows what he's looking for in cost-benefit analysis. And it's also been refined by an individual who I believe understands that what we have primarily in this country is a human relationship problem and not an economic distribution problem.
Not only will we be fiscally better off, but we'll actually get more services and money to the people who actually need it. And only the people who actually need it will actually get it, which is that's news on in comparison to the current state of affairs.
In some fields, confusion is okay. Yogi Berra was once asked if he had seen Dr. Zhivago. No, he said, I feel fine. In baseball, confusion can be funny. In real life, it's disastrous. Caring can be effective, compassionate, and coherent. It says what it means, and means what it says.
If our democracy is to flourish, even to be saved, the ideas that Richard Kaplan has put forth, I feel, must be embraced.
In the final analysis, I truly believe that the success or failure of what we call this great experiment in democracy is not going to be based on our military might or our foreign policy or our stock market, our economy. It's going to be based on how well we take care of each other, how much compassion we show, how much love we have, and how much brother and sisterhood there is in this country. If we have that, we can get through anything. If we don't have that, the smallest thing can tip this country over.
I'm not easily impressed by people. And when I sat down and talked with Dick and listened to him, I felt a genuine sincereness from this gentleman.
When I read Dick's book, I was really excited about it because I think that what it offers is it offers a hope that maybe what we can do is change the approach. And that's what's needed. He's there because he really cares, and he's got something that he's spent years and years putting together as an approach to maybe give us a solution to our problems. Okay, so I'm very, I mean, his credentials are, you know, the man is a very impressive man.
I think Dick would be a great addition in Washington. I think that Washington could learn a great deal from this person who is not, quote, a politician.
Well, he doesn't strike me as a typical politician, that's for sure. I think his great strength is his enthusiasm for ideas and his desire to make the world better. As a politician, his weakness, well, it's going to be difficult for him.